Hey, what's up everyone? I hope you guys are doing really great. Today I thought why not make a different kind of video, something based on how I'm planning my altcoin strategy and how I'm planning to convert it into Bitcoin. And before we move forward, this is not a financial advice. Please do your own research before investing, and in fact contact your financial advisor before you take any financial decisions. Now, yesterday we were talking what is the accumulation phase for Solana for me, and Ethereum, where it's going to go in upcoming 3-4 months. But today we are going to talk about something very interesting, and that is how many Solana do you need for buying one Bitcoin. And this is based on how Solana is currently placed, and in future what we are predicting its value to be. Okay, now I personally feel that any altcoin, if it has to be worth investing, has to outperform Bitcoin. And the whole aspect towards that is that, see, Bitcoin itself is a very high risk asset where you may lose a considerable amount of wealth. Yes, now the probability of losing everything is relatively less, is what I think of, but in fact it is still one of the most riskiest asset to be in. Now when you move in down the risk curve, you'll see you have Ethereum, which is at a lot more which is a lot more riskier asset. That is something that I wanted to say. And with ETFs already in place for Ethereum, we can say okay, the risk has little bit increased, but once you start coming to Solana or any other altcoin, the risk goes up exponentially. It's not a linear risk. Once you are out of the top two, you're going to an exponential risk. So taking that exponential risk should actually give you exponential returns as well. And to be very honest, it's like a lottery ticket and nothing more. Because when you buy X project, even Ethereum for say, if you buy Ethereum, the only reason why you are buying Ethereum is for smart contracts. It's the leader of smart contracts, and it is the altcoin with the biggest market capitalization in the full list of altcoins, second biggest in terms of crypto, second biggest asset in crypto. So that's where you get a safe net. Okay, if everything collapses, the biggest leader will stay. But when you come down to, let's say, Solana and other Sui and other altcoins that are there in the market, the problem that lies is that they're competing for the same thing. They're competing for the very same thing and very same value, which makes them even riskier, because a market leader tends to stay as a market leader for a considerable amount of time. It's very difficult to outthrow something that is a market leader, and as of now Ethereum is a market leader. Obviously the number of transactions that it can perform on layer 1 is relatively lower compared to Solana, but the fact is, if you go to an old guy or guys with big money in hand, they'll say, okay, I have bought enough Bitcoin, what is the second alternative I can buy? I'm 100% sure he's going to, not 100% sure, because this is we cannot be 100% sure, but I am pretty sure that he would think second thing that will come to his mind is Ethereum. Okay, and Solana and all these coins he may or may not be even aware of. So that's how the money follows its risk curve as well. Now the other thing is, Ethereum is good for smart contracts. Yes, it is able to process less transactions compared to Solana, but the thing is, it has a facility where L2 blockchains can perform multiple transactions through a single block, which Solana does it on L1 as well. So I understand that from a technological point of view, Solana is ahead in terms of number of transactions it can process in a minute or a second, and Ethereum is lagging behind. But we also need to understand that Ethereum has been there in the market, and it has trust of good amount of people who have stayed in past few bull markets, because it has been there. I think Ethereum has been in the market and Solana has been in the market. Exactly, there's a difference of 4-5 years between both the chains. So Ethereum has now in total seen 3 or 4 bull runs, and let's say if I talk about Solana, it would have just seen 2 or 3 bull runs in totality. So the trust in terms of Ethereum, in terms of the confidence in investors for Ethereum is a lot more. Talking about Solana, now I'll tell you what I have in mind. So let's say Ethereum will perform double whatever Bitcoin performs, is what I'm thinking as of now. So let's say Bitcoin doubles from here, that will be 200k. I would expect Ethereum to do 4x. And now the problem which arises is, earlier these logics were true because the market capitalization of the crypto assets were not that, but now the market capitalization has increased a lot. So if it 4x from here, it's not a good investment. Why? Because people who have been holding just Bitcoin have made a lot of money compared to the altcoins, and preferably Ethereum is only a good investment if it crosses or goes beyond 15 to 20,000 US dollars. Now the problem that lies with that is that the market capitalization would go up by such a tremendous amount that it's very difficult at this point to comprehend that will it be able to do that, or is it impossible. And crypto markets do not perform in a logical way. They are very emotionally biased because of retail, small, retail and short-term investors. So that I'm not very sure. But when you come down to Solana has to at least double the performance of Ethereum, as per my expectation. Now, if you see, Ethereum is giving you a 10x from right now at currently around 2.5 US dollars to what I expect would be a good return is from 16 to the best is 20. Now for me, in my head, if this is 10x, Solana has to go a lot higher. Doesn't make sense. It's around 152 right now. 10x would be $1,500, and a blowout top would be around, in that case, if I say if I add $1,000 on top, is $2,500 to $3,000 is what I would expect it to be. But the fact is that I'm not able to comprehend that. How is it even possible, and how is it going to, where the money for this is going to come from? What I expect is, in the best optimistic scenario, the money is going to flow from Bitcoin to Ethereum, where the market cap of Ethereum is going to go up drastically. Once it has reached, let's say, about 15 to 20,000 US dollars, it's going to flow down to Solana, and then it's going to spread out in other altcoins and later into meme coins. Now this is a very newbie kind of fascination I have in mind, and the structure that I have in mind, and I can be fully wrong about it. But why I'm thinking so that Ethereum will start falling and that's when Solana will go up is because the amount of money required now to move these blockchains is enormous. And I know there are better experts on YouTube who have been in the market and were saying 10 to 15,000 for Ethereum is normal. No, it's not normal, because the chains are shit expensive right now in terms of market capitalization. I'm not able to comprehend about the money flow. That's what is concerning me at this point in time. So for example, if I say Solana goes to 2,500, 2,600 at its like massive blow off top $3,000, right? The point is, first thing is, who will stay till $3,000 is another thing. I have never seen someone who started at the bottom and stayed till the end. Okay, so that's something I'm not so sure of. And the other thing is that where is that amount of money which is required to push the markets by this much? Where is it going to come from? These two things is something that I'm still thinking about. I think a lot of influencers are calling, like Raul Paul and few others are saying that during its peak peak performance week, it will hit around a market cap of 15 trillion, and that would be the epitome of the bull run, and that's where it will start crashing from that point in time. 15 trillion is a lot. That means Bitcoin might have half of the 15 trillion. That would be around 7 trillion, 6 to 7 trillion, let's say, and then the other would be spread in Ethereum and other altcoins. So that's very big amount of money that's going to come from sideline into crypto market. Now coming to the answer that how many Solanas would I think we would need to convert into Bitcoin is around 180 to around 240 to 50 is Solana is what we'll need to come to buy one Bitcoin. And now why I have given this range is around 180 to around 240, 250, and there's a very specific reason. Last time when we were at bull market top, the number of Solanas that were required for number of Solanas required to buy one Bitcoin was around I think you needed around 250 Solanas to buy one Bitcoin. Please verify the data as well, because I'm just continuously talking with you, so I'm just giving you a rough estimate of what I think the markets are going to be like. So from there the 250 figure comes in handy that okay, this is, if it performs exactly like last time, we'll need around 250 Bitcoin, sorry, 250 Solana to buy one Bitcoin. The other thing that comes into my mind is now the earlier scenario was that Ethereum was at a lot, sorry, the Solana was at a much smaller scale and it was not competing with Ethereum. So let's say if it capitalizes the market cap of Ethereum, which is a little likely, or I would say less likely thing, but because I have very limited understanding in crypto market, I definitely feel it may happen. But toppling around the market leader is something that is not possible, is what I feel. And this is something I'm saying with my experience in stock market. I used to think buying a number two competitor is a good idea in a lot of scenarios, but it is not. At least it has not panned out to be a very great advice for me in general. So I feel okay, if it outperforms the last performance, then the ratio is going to go down. Now a slight significant drop down would be that you buy 200 Solanas and you are able to get one Bitcoin out of it. On the other side, I also feel, what if the ratio is very skewed? This time a good amount of market capitalization from Ethereum is taken by Solana. That's where I feel around 125 to 140 Solana would be able to buy one Bitcoin. And I know this is a figure which is still big for a lot of people, but we also need to understand Solana had been coming up from, like, it was at $10 in 2-3 years back, and now it has come up to 150, 160. So what I am potentially expecting, these figures, I'll be able to narrow it down further on what can be the, exact or rough estimate of number of Solanas that would be required to buy one Bitcoin, is when we are sure then the altcoin has made its bottom. And usually after making a bottom, within 2 to 3 months, we'll recognize that, oh, that was the bottom and we are not going back there, at least in bull run. That's where we'll have a concise figure in mind on how many Solanas would be required. But as of now, I feel 250 might be the upper cap of number of Bitcoins, number of Solanas you need for one Bitcoin, and around the bottom would be around 120 to 125 Solanas for one Bitcoin. Now both of them are very unlikely scenarios, because one is really bearish and one is extremely optimistic. So I feel somewhere around 200 to 10 would be a specific range where if you have that much Solana, you might be able to buy one Bitcoin. And it's also a very risky strategy which I am planning to have, is because I don't have the money to buy one Bitcoin, dude. That's I'm putting it very straightforward, in a very straightforward way, that I don't have the money to buy one Bitcoin at the moment. And taking this extra risk, I might end up losing some amount of money, but the risk to reward ratio for me works out that eventually I'll be able to buy one Bitcoin out of it. And that is what I'm thinking of doing it. That's why I'm trying to, once I feel Solana drops down to 100, I'll start accumulating more and more Solana. I'll try to buy more and more Solana, so that I can expand my position and get to a level where I'm able to accumulate one Bitcoin. So this is my understanding. Please don't be influenced. This is not a financial advice. Please contact your financial advisor before you invest, and in fact do your own research before you perform your investing. That's all in for today. See you tomorrow.